Today I am going to teach you, using a story, 5 incredible words and phrases. First, we'll watch the first little snippet of the story, and you might not understand everything, but that's okay. Over the next few videos, we're going to break down everything inside the story and understand all the different words and phrases. So by the time you're done with this video series, you will understand the story inside and out. That's enough talking. Let's watch our first part. 500 Big Ones, Episode 1.
Unbelievable! What? I won the lottery! No way! How much you win?
All right, it is time. Let's break down the story. Let's start with the first line. It's one word, unbelievable. So this word just means I can't believe it, right? Un means not, believe is believe. Able means able to, can. So not able to believe. It is a very useful word for expressing surprise, and it's good for both good situations and bad situations. So you could say something like, unbelievable, I got a promotion. Or you could say something like, unbelievable, my flight got canceled. So good and bad situations, unbelievable is very useful. All right, and then his friend is like, what? This repeating what is a very great way for showing excitement. Now, it's a very simple word. You know the word what. But when you add a little bit of play with it, doubling it up and using it with emotions, it can add a lot of naturalness to your English. So you're like, what? And you can practice the pronunciation of what. It's not what. It's what. There's barely a T at the end, not even a T. It's like a N at the end. So that what is very exciting. There's urgency, and we do it with other words too. So you can do it with where. You're like, where? Or really? Very useful. So the guy says, what happened? He says, I won the lottery. Lottery is a type of gambling game where you put money in to hope to get more money back out, right? So often with the lottery, specifically the lottery, you are picking numbers and you hope to have the winning numbers. Usually when we talk about the lottery, we say you win the lottery. You don't get or have the lottery, you win the lottery. But you can get or have a lottery ticket. So if you're playing the lottery, that's another one we use, you can play the lottery or win or lose the lottery, but you get or have the ticket. So the friend replies, no way, how much do you win? Now this is pretty fun. Let's talk about no way first. I love no way. I use it all the time. And that's why it's in the story, because it naturally comes to me. It just means, I don't believe it. No way. It's usually for surprise, for not understanding like what is going on. So you might say, no way, you met Lady Gaga? Or, no way, you got a free vacation? But then the next part is very interesting because there is some incorrect grammar there. But I am the type of teacher, I will teach you incorrect grammar if people use it. So incorrect grammar, I will tell you if it's incorrect, but people use it, so it's okay. People won't look at you weird as long as you use it the right way. You don't want to use incorrect grammar in a broken way or stuttery or slow if that's not how it's used. You have to mimic the way we say it. For instance, how much you win? It's very strung together. It's like one long flow. How much you win? How much you win? How much you win? It's almost it's very common, I should say, in the Black American accent to drop this did. But it's very common in general to drop this did. So let's talk about it a little bit more. When do we drop the did? So technically, we didn't drop the did. We just said it really fast, most of the time. So why did the did disappear and why is it okay? Well, here's my take on it, and don't quote me on this. This is what I've observed. So how much, the ch is very close to the j sound, and the j is what d in did becomes. I don't know if you caught that. I'll say that again. So the d in did often becomes j, and j is very close to ch in how much. So in this sentence, how much you owe? How much you owe? Instead of saying how much did you owe or how much you owe, which is very hard to say, we just say how much you owe, how much you leave, how much you win. Okay? Other words where it's almost dropped but not really is like where'd and why'd. Why did? Where'd you go? There's the j. Where'd you go? Why'd you do that? Why did you do that? Why'd you do that? Why'd you leave? So it's become the j from d in did. Okay? So that j disappears in a how much sentence, but you still hear it in a where or why sentence. And then there are some where you can't drop the did at all without it sounding weird because there's nowhere for it to disappear into. For instance, how far did he go? We can't say how far he go. It sounds weird. Okay, but we are gonna stop there on this story. That was the end of the first snippet of our story, 500 Big Ones. But I hope you feel like you understood all of those phrases and how to use them. That's important because you have a practice assignment. It's the most important step. It's your weekly practice plan that I like to give at the end of every video because just learning and listening is not enough. You have to do the work. So remember, the way we do this practice is you take all of these words and make one story about one topic every day for a week. I think it works best if you say it out loud and don't write it first. You can write it maybe after you come up with your story, but just speak it spontaneously because you want to improve your speaking, right? That's what we're trying to do. And don't be a little perfectionist about this. Just do your best and leave the rest. But that's it for now, flyers. You did awesome. Keep working hard and I'll see you in the skies. Bye.